What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports back to you guys with another video. This video, I'm here with my Arizona Cardinals versus the Baltimore Ravens Week 2 preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and giving my predictions for who will win this game. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. So, the Baltimore Ravens are coming off of a dominating win against the Miami Dolphins. I don't even know if there's any better words to describe it, but it was just a domination. I mean, they beat them down 59-10. I told everybody that Baltimore was going to end up putting nearly 60 points on the board, and they came 1 point short of doing that. And I mean, against this Miami Dolphins team that looks to be tanking, I mean, looking at Lamar Jackson, he looked very impressive. I believe he was like 17 to 20, had 4 touchdowns as well, no picks, man. So, I mean, he looked very improved throwing the football through the air, which is what I was expecting out of this new Baltimore Ravens offense coming from offensive coordinator Greg Roman, who got guys like Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl and got Tyrod Taylor to the Pro Bowl back in a couple of years ago when he was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. So Greg Roman is a guy who has had success with quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson's performance against the Miami Dolphins didn't really surprise me. And against this Arizona defense, I'm expecting pretty much a pretty good performance out of Lamar Jackson as well, since his Arizona Cardinals defense got shredded by Matthew Stafford in the Detroit Lions offense. Now, the this Arizona Cardinals team is coming off of a come-from-behind tie. I mean, they were getting beat down by the Detroit Lions for 3 quarters straight, and then in the fourth quarter, they just went absolutely off the charts. And if this Arizona Cardinals can play the rest of the season on the offensive side of the ball like how they did in the fourth quarter, then I think this could end up being a very interesting Cardinals team, specifically going into this game. They got a lot of momentum. Although they didn't win the game, they didn't lose the game. It ended up being a tie. But, I mean, they came back down from a huge deficit in the fourth quarter. Kyler Murray went off. And a big thing in this game for the Arizona Cardinals is, can they protect Kyler Murray, and how much success are they going to have against this very good Baltimore Ravens defense? Because Kyler Murray struggled against the Detroit Lions for the majority of the game until the fourth quarter. I mean, he was struggling, wasn't really completing a lot of passes, got a lot of passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And this is a Baltimore defense that is just as good as the Detroit Lions. They're actually better in the secondary. So, I mean, this Detroit Lions had a very good front seven. The secondary was okay, but the Baltimore Ravens have a better defense than the Detroit Lions and also a very good secondary as well. So, it's very interesting to see what Kyler Murray is going to be doing against this Baltimore Ravens defense that's pretty stacked at every single position. And then for the Baltimore Ravens, how are they going to be able to contain Kyler Murray, man? Because Kyler Murray makes some good throws versus the Detroit Lions, and a lot of people aren't really giving the Detroit Lions the credit that they deserve for the talent that they have on the defense side of the ball. I mean, you got Mike Daniels, you got Trey Flowers. So the Detroit Lions on the defense side of the ball when it comes to that defensive line is pretty good. And then for this Baltimore Ravens team, I want to see what Harbaugh is going to be able to do and able to take away Kyler Murray. Are they going to try to make Kyler Murray win the game by throwing the football, or are they just going to try to take away the pass and just force Kyler Murray to just make plays, try to extend plays in the pocket and things like that? So it's going to be interesting watching how Harbaugh plans on trying to figure out ways to stop this air raid attack and contain Kyler Murray. So looking at my keys to the game, what each of these teams is doing able to have a chance to win this game. For the Arizona Cardinals, they need to stop the run. A big thing for the Baltimore Ravens is their ability to run the football. If you're able to stop them running the football, then I think you force them to lean on Lamar Jackson to win the game. And although Lamar Jackson is an approved passer, he's not a guy who at this point in his career who you can ask to win a game by throwing the ball 40 times. So the Baltimore Ravens, they want to run the football, and they don't want to ask Lamar Jackson to have to win the game throwing the ball 40 times. So if you're able to take away the running game, which not only includes Mark Ingram, but also taking away Lamar Jackson's legs as well, and force Lamar Jackson to stay in the pocket and beat you through the air, then if you're Arizona, you rather have Lamar Jackson beat you through the air than having him just take over the game with his legs and things like that. And also, you're able to stop the time possessions for the Baltimore Ravens. They also want to keep your offense off the field. They want to keep your defense on the field, and they want to tire you out on the defense side of the ball. So if you're able to stop the run for the Arizona Cardinals, then you're going to be able to feel good about your chances of winning this game. The next thing they need to do is they need to be able to protect Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is going to have to get all the protection that he's going to need, because this guy his offensive line isn't really that good. And I mean, Detroit was able to get after him for a couple of quarters as well. And against this Baltimore Ravens team, man, he's going to need a lot of protection as well because they got a lot of good guys on that defense as well. And also a very good secondary as well. So you're going to have to give Kyler Murray time to find some open receivers if you want to have a chance to win this game. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, you don't want Kyler Murray running for his life back there. You're going to have to let Kyler Murray roll out and things like that. He's going to need a lot of time. And this is a lot to ask for, kind of coming out of an offensive line against a very good Baltimore Ravens defense that's pretty stacked on almost every position on the defense side of the ball. So if they're able to protect Kyler Murray and he's able to do damage through the air like what he was able to do against the Detroit Lions in a full quarter and overtime, then I think the Arizona Cardinals have a pretty good chance of winning this game if they're able to do that and give him time to sit back there and throw and read the defense. And last thing they need to do is they need to be able to contain Lamar Jackson. I mean, you can't stop Lamar Jackson. It's either pick your poison. You're either going to force him to pass the football or you're either going to make him try to run the football and things like that. So it's pretty much pick your poison with the Arizona Cardinals, what their approach is going to be when they try to contain Kyler Murray, because this is one of the most electric quarterbacks that we have in the NFL right now. And like we saw last week, man, this guy's a very improved passer under Greg Roman, which is expected. So, I mean, it's really pick your poison, man. I mean, which one are you going to try to take away? You're going to try to take away the pass and force him to run, or you're going to make him try to win the game within the pocket. So, I mean, it's really pick your poison, man. So, if you're the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, you're in a really, really tough predicament because you don't want Lamar Jackson taking over this game. So, you can't stop him. The only thing you can do is contain him, which is how the old expression goes. So, what the Baltimore Ravens are doing able to win this game, they don't really have to do that much. I think they have a pretty good chance of winning this game if these three things go right. They're able to get pressure on Kyler Murray. Like we saw the Detroit Lions, they got tired out by that air raid attack. The defensive linemen had their hands on their hips. They were gassed. And that's how Kyler Murray was able to have such big of a full quarter. So the Baltimore Ravens need to be able to get pressure on Kyler Murray. They also need to rotate some fresh bodies in on the defensive line so those guys don't get gassed like how they did against the Detroit Lions. And you want to be able to get constant pressure on Kyler Murray. I mean, a lot of passes got knocked down at the line of scrimmage because of how small he is. And also, you need to get him running back for his life there. You got a very good secondary there. And the wide receivers are okay, but the wide receivers are nothing crazy that's going to be able to take you that's really going to make the Baltimore Ravens have to pay very, very close attention to. So, I mean, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, if you're able to get Kyler Murray running for his life back there, able to get him on the ground and things like that, then you definitely have to feel good about your chances of winning this football game. And against this Arizona Cardinals off the line, which is less to be desired, you're going to feel good about your chances and being able to do that. The next thing the Baltimore Ravens need to be able to do, they need to be able to run the ball. You want to keep this offense off the field because like we saw, they gassed this Detroit Lions defensive line. And with the Baltimore Ravens, you don't want your defense to end up getting gassed because of this air raid attack. So you want to keep them off the field. You want to keep their defense on the field, which isn't really that good last week. And Matthew Stafford had a field day. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens, if you're able to run the ball, you control time possession, you keep that offense off the field, you keep your defense on the sidelines getting rested, and you keep their defense on the field getting fatigued and getting gassed. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you definitely want to be able to run the ball and also control the time possession as well. And the last thing they need to do is they need to be able to limit the turnovers. I think that's the thing that was able to keep Arizona in the game last week. I think Detroit had like a key turnover that was able to give them the ball. I think it was like a muff punt or something like that. I think it was some kind of turnover, but either way, the Baltimore Ravens need to limit turnovers because a team like Arizona, you want to keep them from getting extra possessions because you want to keep them out of the game. You don't really want them. If you're able to get a big lead on Arizona, that's going to play to your advantage. So you want to limit the turnovers in a game like this. The Baltimore Ravens are a better team than the Arizona Cardinals talent-wise. So the only thing that can really keep them from really winning this game would be the turnovers. So if they're able to limit turnovers and keep Arizona from getting extra possessions, then they have a very solid chance of winning this game. So the team that I'm going to go with to win this game, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. The Baltimore Ravens are just a better team. And although Arizona has some flashes against the Detroit Lions, this is a Detroit Lions team that just ended up they just choked. That's all it is to say. So against this Baltimore Ravens defense, better coach team than what the Detroit Lions are, I'm expecting Baltimore to be able to win this game. I don't think this game is going to be close. I think Baltimore ends up winning this game 35-17. I just don't think the Arizona Cardinals are just going to be able to get a lot of stops on the defensive side of the ball, and I just don't see Kyler Murray having a big day like how he did against the Detroit Lions versus a better defense and a better secondary in the Baltimore Ravens. And plus, this game is at Baltimore as well. So this is it for my preview and prediction video for the Arizona Cardinals versus the Baltimore Ravens. Let me know who you guys think is going to win down in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.